Wait. Okay. So
Now
our
it should be
channel
good.
is not, but yours is.
Yeah, now it should be good.
There we go.
I really wish so much of this software was better about just saying like, I went live and the stream dropped, or I didn't go live, there was an error or something. It's just like tossing it into
Hmm.
the ether, and it's like, all right, see you, nothing happened. See you later.
Yep.
There we go. That looks better. Put this on blue sky real quick, and then we'll be ready to start.
I need you to play Lethal Company with us, Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm going to put an outfit set in just for you that I had to remove as part of a testing process.
Mm. I mean, I
But
can.
someone has
I'll come back for
someone has
repo.
someone has imported all of the Persona outfits
Oh no.
into Lethal Company. So while I was playing around with it, I was dressed as Teddy in his outfit, in his
Mm-hmm.
mascot outfit
That's
specifically,
pretty
I
good.
should say.
Have you guys talked about checking out repo?
Not yet.
Hmm.
It's something that's wibbling around in my brain a little bit, but it's one of those things where I don't know if it's moddable. I don't know what the mod scene is like because like the reason we got so much juice in Lethal Company is because there's so many
Yeah.
mods. Like it's unreal. And like anytime it starts to feel a little stale, I just throw in a bunch more mods.
Yep.
And it's just like, okay, let's see how this
50 more
goes.
mods. Let's
And
go.
then previously we couldn't get it to work, so we rolled back to a different loadout. But then I tweaked it and we got it to work this week. So
Oh, nice.
this week we had a whole bunch of additional stuff in there,
Right.
including, and again, something that you would probably like. Someone made a whole bunch of maps using Unreal Tournament 99
Oh,
packs.
wow. Wild.
So like the maps and the internals are all UT99 themed.
That's interesting. Okay, let me write down this real quick. And are you ready to get started?
I mean, sure.
Sure, I think so.
Yep. Is it hashtag or exclamation mark?
Exclamation mark.
Okay,
All
I'm
right.
ready.
Let's get started in three, two, one. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. Nope.
There we go.
Take
There we
two.
go. That's the end. Boston. Do we do that bit at the end?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Starting in three, two, one. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast, aka TVGP. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpear.
Hello.
Nimp is out again this week. Hopefully, we'll see him back next week. And hopefully, we'll see you all over at patreon.com/E1M1.
The ones and numbers.
If you can get exclusive access to the Outcast. We're talking about all the cool stuff behind the scenes of our lives. Early access to life deets, all that good stuff. World exclusive.
Mhm.
Talking about a bunch of cables, doing a house chores, dad jokes, of course, Lethal Company mods. Got it all. Got all the good stuff over there. You also get early access to We Roguelike It and Critical Misses. At the $5 tier or higher, you get exclusive access to the Critical Misses production meeting and the Wayward Sons supernatural TV show watchcast that Moon and Nimp are going through. All of that and maybe more if I've forgotten anything over at patreon.com/E1M1.
Ones and numbers.
All right, Moon, what have you been playing this past week?
I've only really got two games to talk about this week.
Okay.
One of them is Lethal Company.
Okay.
Um, yeah, some we talked about it a little bit in the pre-show. I made a brand new set of mods. We tried to run them 2 weeks ago. It did not work as planned. So
Okay.
we rolled back and we played a previous version of mods. This time I had some tweaks to it, some changes, some additions, some subtractions. It worked perfectly fine this time.
Okay.
With a lot of new monsters that I don't know who they are.
Okay, perfect.
a lot more. Hey, he actually used Oz for once. That's great. Um,
You have to applaud my Herculean restraint because when I was trying to find this TVGP 17th birthday celebration live stream, go check out our YouTube channel. Um,
mhm.
I it brought up a video of our live stream archive of a couple weeks ago when we were talking about Lethal Company. Really wanted to
Uh-huh.
play that video inside
The
of
video of us talking
yeah,
about the
a
video.
stream inside of a stream. Yep,
Mhm.
yeah,
Streamception, one might say.
that's right.
And the like.
Yeah, you got it.
Um, it's it's interesting because we talked pre-show again about like potentially, maybe Repo will be in that list at some
Right.
point. Maybe we'll play that.
Repo, which is like a
The thing I
thematically similar game of, but that one you're moving
Yes,
things instead of recovering
yeah, you
things.
have to go and repossess things into from a house, and
Right.
I like the voice chat in that because it makes everybody's heads flap.
Have you seen what else is applied to voice chat in that game?
I know they can do like different like depending on what you're suffering from, it
Uh huh.
tweaks the tone and the pitch.
So I was watching Northern Lion play Repo, and I was like, all right, this is pretty fun. Like it's another Lethal Company watching the like Muppet, like you said, the like Muppet mouth thing is pretty
Mhm.
entertaining. But then when someone picked up something cursed and they're like, oh no, what happened? It's like, all
Uh-huh.
right, doing like the voice modulation is really good.
Yep, it's definitely. I've seen some people play it, and it is tickling my curiosity. Just
Hmm.
at the moment, with everything being in flux as it is,
Right.
everyone has lethal. Everyone knows
Yeah,
how to mod
you
lethal.
already
Everyone
own
knows how
it,
to
so
jump into
like,
lethal. Yes.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I added a whole bunch of mods. There's more plushies, more and
Yes.
more
More
plushies.
plushies. More plushies.
Um, there is statues now. I'm pretty sure one of the statues that we got was the king from Breath of the Wild.
Okay. Wait, statues
And every
for your ship or like statues that could
like
come to life
like
in the like dungeon?
like statues that are loot, essentially. Like a
Oh,
little
okay,
model
okay.
statue. Like you pick him up and he goes, "My boy," and it's just like, okay,
All right, that's
sure.
pretty good. I like that.
Also, the whole game is infested with gnomes now because I decided to put gnomes into the game.
As one should, yes.
hmm I know for a fact that one of the gnomes teleports you
Okay. Okay.
randomly when he touches you.
Mm-hmm.
I know a different gnome does the weeping angels thing, where when you look at
Mm,
him, he stays still, but then he moves when you don't.
pretty good.
They all have different hats on, so you can figure out which ones are which
Mm,
by what hat they're wearing, but I don't know
okay.
anything about that. Um, a whole bunch of new interiors, one of which I refuse to talk about because it is the best slash worst surprise you've
Okay.
ever seen.
You got to keep the surprises under lock and key.
100%.
Yeah.
I, we were playing this time, and I can't remember what happened, but we went in. I think Rob got killed by a turret, so me and Bill had to leave the fire exit and go through to the main entrance on one of the new maps.
Mm,
And on the way, I went to teleport Rob's body in and accidentally teleported Bill by accident.
okay.
So then, as I'm leaving, I happened to see on the screen on the ship what map it was because you can tell if this particular map just by the coloration of like the map layout.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I need to beat Bill in there. I need to be in there first so I can see Bill's reaction when he
Right.
goes into this map and then sees it for the
Like
first
going in the
time.
first store
And
and being like, "What is the? Oh no."
basically, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that. It was great. It was hilarious. There was too many scrap items in the game. I might argue now.
Okay.
Um, although we are having fun just playing around, doing stupid stuff with all of the different scrap, and like it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, we've got late game installed now, which means that we can give ourselves like extra perks and buffs, like you run faster, you
Oh wow.
crouch walk faster, like batteries last longer. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do in there. and it's just stupid in the best ways that it can possibly be stupid.
Hmm.
Apparently, one of the mod packs I installed was a Zelda pack based on my boy guy.
Right.
But also, I found a rupee
Okay.
and I picked her up and it did the rupee sound.
Great.
But more importantly, someone found the Master Sword.
Okay. Great.
It's big. It's like bigger than you big.
12
It's about
feet
the same
tall.
height. Yeah, it's about the same height. But my favorite part of it is you pick it up and it will say on the screen, "You're not the right person to wield this weapon."
Oh.
So you can put it down and then someone else can pick it up and they do the same thing. When the right person picks it up, it does the da 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 da
Oh, that's
noise,
great.
and they can use it as a weapon.
Incredible.
And it is extremely strong. It killed a loot bug in one shot, to give you an
That's
idea.
great.
So, yeah, I
Oh,
really
man.
like the Master Sword.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Yeah, there's lots of good ones, lots of new maps. I'm go. I'm inst. I've already penciled in a couple of different mods that I'm going to install for the next time we play, because we've now got like 19 moons on the list,
Oh, okay.
and some of them are like, oh, you need 7,000 credits to go here. It's like, I'm not.
Wow.
Just give me all of the moons. Just give me
Yeah.
all of them free. Let me go in and see what each of these are like, because I want to know what is going on at Oblitariat. I want to
Naturally.
know what is going on at Depression, which is the name of a moon.
Sure. Yeah. Let's get up in there.
Like, I just want to see all these things, and we all have new cosmetics and stuff like that. So
Yeah. That makes
there will
sense.
be a new code going out again.
That's
A
right.
bunch of like 5 or 6 new mods. I have my eyes on like 5 or 6 at the moment.
Hmm.
And then fingers crossed that's going to be stupid fun for everyone, because
Right.
it's great and I love it. I can't help it. It's just the right amount of chaos.
Yeah. Right.
Like, it doesn't feel punishing anymore now that we've played it as much as we have. Like, it doesn't feel punishing. It doesn't feel like it's deliberately nasty or anything like that. And it's always fun putting new monsters in, and then
Hmm.
someone runs into them for the first time, and it's just a bunch of screaming and loud noises as everybody runs for their
And then
life.
the screaming stops suddenly.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
then all you hear is tunk 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 tunk,
Hmm.
and you're just like, uh-oh. I don't know what that was, but I would need to leave. Like, now,
Yeah.
please, and thank you. Spiders aren't even scary anymore. I don't even see spiders anymore because there's so much random gubbins inside of these things.
Right.
I don't know. Lethal Company is great. I love playing Lethal Company. The only other thing I played,
Uh-huh.
and the one I'm not really going to talk about, is Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Hey, I started that this week too.
Okay.
Okay, before we get started,
hmm
we need to talk about what our personal settings are for this game. There's two big settings.
hmm
Immersive mode, do you have that on or
hmm
off?
Is okay.
That's
I do not have the I don't have the guided storytelling on, where you have to. I actually have to go and explore an area to find
Yeah,
a
I didn't
target.
I didn't turn that on. 'Cause that didn't
No, I
sound
do.
like.
So I do have that.
Oh, you have that on? Okay. So
hmm
for anyone that isn't playing, that mode is basically like leading you from one point to another. It's a lot clearer about if you're doing this quest, you need to go to this place and go do this thing instead of like it's to the west in a forest. Go ahead.
hmm
It's a lot clearer. The immersive mode is where it locks the language into Japanese and
Portuguese.
Portuguese. Yeah, I have that on.
Okay, I don't.
Okay,
I have English and Portuguese is what it
interesting.
comes
Okay,
out as.
and then canon mode. That is,
I do not.
I have that on as well, and I'll talk about that in a second. So for canon mode for listeners, that makes
This
all
is a really cool concept.
it
It's
makes
a
all
really
of the
great concept.
choices for you in dialogue in the game. So it's essentially like this is the story, not like that Ubisoft had planned, but basically like here's kind of the story stays consistent the entire time through, and you don't really need to to make any choices. So I actually played the intro twice. I played it.
Mm.
So the intro opens with Yasuke running into Nobunaga, and the Portuguese priests. And at the very beginning, Nobunaga essentially asks Yasuke. This is before you get into Naoe's stuff. Asks him a question in Japanese, and you get the option of saying nothing, which is what I chose at the beginning, or answering him saying like, I can understand you, like I can understand everything that's going on here. I chose the say nothing and then talking later, and the canon choice was to say immediately that you understand everything that's going on.
Mhm.
And the difference between those two storylines was pretty interesting. It's not a huge difference, but it's different enough that I was like, okay, I'm kind of curious. I'd be curious to like play through it, making my own decisions, but I'm much more curious seeing what this canon mode looks like. Of just like, here's kind of
Yeah.
the story that I don't know how even to talk about it, not intended, but like kind of the
No,
suggested
It's
story.
the story they wrote. Like
Yeah,
it is like it takes all choices away from you. So
yeah,
it's like, no, this is the story as we intend it to be, essentially.
yeah. So how far have you gotten in this?
Let's start with you because there's something tells me I'm further than you.
Okay, I've gotten out of the prologue. So the prologue starts with Yasuke. You do some stuff with him. It moves over to Naoe. Those are the two characters of the game. You do a bunch of stuff with her, so you're kind of getting more of her introduction than his stuff
Hmm.
at the beginning. I'm now at the part where Naoe has kind of recovered from what happened at the end, and I just got turned loose in the open world, and I was like, haha, great,
Okay.
getting viewpoints. Let's go do it. Because it's an
That
Assassin's Creed game.
literally one of my notes here is like, hey, that first viewpoint though.
Oh, oh man. Just the like,
And you don't even have to press the button to sync it anymore. It does it automatically.
which I think is a really interesting choice. But like, man, my brain, when the camera just does that zoom out and does that slow pan around the entire area, I'm just like, yes,
Little
yes,
good tickles.
Assassin's Creed's back, baby, let's go. Um,
Mhm.
but also like, I think it. I know you could do this in the previous games, but it felt a lot better after you do that kind of big normal look around, holding L2 and seeing all the like question marks and the viewpoints and everything around you, and having those get
Mhm.
marked on the map only when
Yes.
you see them when you're looking
As a
down.
left trigger thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that's a much better system because everybody, including us, has sort of complained about this in previous games of like, I hate a viewpoint, it opened the map and it barfed 50 icons on me. It's like, well, I don't want to do any
There
of
seems to be a
those.
lot less of those, if I'm completely honest,
Well, and
so
I
far.
I think a lot of what you're running into in the game is just stuff you're genuinely actually running into. Like you're walking down this
Mhm.
path and like, okay, right next to you, here's the thing you can interact with, or you ran across a temple, go find a couple of like the like secrets or whatever the things that are written down.
Lost scrolls, the lost pages.
Yeah, the lost pages is like, okay, there are three of those in this area. You can see where they are on the like when you look down the camera in L2, go find them.
Hmm. So when you get objectives, it's pointing you directly to the objective person or marker or whatever it is, right?
Uh it will show only when I like go to the map and say I want to put a waypoint on this marker. Otherwise, there
Hmm.
really isn't a lot to show me around the world.
Okay, so don't do what I did
Hmm.
and forget that the left trigger observe exists
Yeah,
because I spent an hour at one point trying to find an objective, being like, it says he's in this area, but I can't find him. I mean, I'm an assassin's vision and I'm doing all of this stuff.
yeah,
I literally just didn't hold left trigger, which shows the blue objective dot, and then you head to that,
sure,
and then
right.
so if you're not having the quote unquote easy mode for
Hmm.
the objectives, where it's literally giving you an objective marker to that person, and instead it
Right.
gives you like a region. Remember, the left trigger is observe, and that's how you do it. Don't do what I
Right.
do and spend ages wasting time.
So I actually
Um,
use that a lot because I really love, and this reminds me of, I think it's maybe MGS5, um, where you can get to like a high point and use that to kind of scan everything in front of you, and it does the little carrot on top of enemies, so you get to like ping,
Enemies.
ping, ping,
Yep.
ping, 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 and you can just watch them as they're wandering by.
Uh-huh.
That doing that recon in types of games like these always makes me really happy.
Yeah, it also works when you're in eagle vision too. It does the
Yes.
same thing, and you can tag them that way. Also, I love the fact that eagle vision is like the paper color in
Oh,
this
it's
game.
so cool. I wish it
It's
was a little bit faster to get in and out of Eagle Vision.
yes,
Holding
I have.
the R3 takes a long time.
It does. I have a couple of issues with it. Like
Hmm.
number one is, and I don't know if you will have bumped into this yet. There is no auto path for the horse.
I was surprised by that because the very first thing you do, like for both Yasuke and Naoe, is you're following somebody on foot and you just hold X. Like it even has the prompt on the
Hmm.
screen of like hold X to auto follow, and that works really well, especially in a game where I have to read all of the subtitles because they're either in
Yep.
Japanese or Portuguese. But not having that on the horse, especially kind of like post Witcher 3, feels
Post
weird.
Origins, dude, you could do it in Origins.
That's true, you
Take me
could.
to the objective and follow the path. Like it used to do
Yeah.
it for you in like Origins.
I don't
So
know if that's an upgrade or something in the like 6 upgrade
yeah,
trees that are
who knows,
available, hopefully, but that
dude?
also was a little bit weird.
Now it has 5 trees by herself.
Yes. Yep. Which
Like
like
that is.
I haven't dove too much into them, but some of them is like, okay, this is the assassin tree, this is the katana tree, this is the
Oh,
like hiding tree, this is the, and it's like, okay.
shinobi tree. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and it's like, okay, that I unlocked the first one I unlocked. I felt like I sort of had to was the like hiding underwater and having the fake
With the
reed
reed.
that you can breathe out of. And
Hmm.
it's like, well, if there's something that I'm gonna do as a ninja, I'm gonna do that. So even if it's not
Yeah.
useful, I'm gonna at least do it once or twice and go like Solid Snake with the crocodile hat. Where I'm like, this is dumb. They fell for it.
I mean, yeah, it's literally it's all of these skills. You're going to use them once or twice, and then
Yeah.
you'll think it's cool, and then you'll forget about them until whatever happens. I will say it is around 8 to 10 hours apparently until you get to Yasuke again. Just so you know.
Okay. That's not that's
Oh,
not too bad. I
big chunk of Nae to come for you.
yeah, and one of the things that I'm pretty impressed with by this game is the start is slower than a lot of the other Assassin's Creed games. It's you're
Yep.
spending a lot of time kind of wandering and walking. You get plenty of stuff where you're fighting, especially with Yasuke, who's just like that dude is strong. Like
Hmm.
you are slicing dudes in half. Um, but I like that you're. It takes you a really long time, and by a really long time, I don't know, 2 hours at most to get to now is like first open world kind of taking off the training wheels stuff.
Yep.
And I like that they're really taking their time instead of like, here you go, 15 minutes, and then here's just a giant open world. Let's get going. They're taking their
I felt
time.
like they did the same thing in Valhalla, where you spent like a good 2 hours, 3 hours in Norway or wherever it
Yeah,
was,
like a
and
very
then after a
small
while,
area.
it was like, oh, by the way, here's England. Have
Yeah,
fun.
here's the rest of the
By
map.
the way,
Good luck.
yeah.
By the
Like
way, I
it
watched
felt like they did.
a story overview of Valhalla.
Uh huh. You see that ending? Oh boy.
I did that. I actually watched a really great one. I wish I could remember who did it. It was an Assassin's Creed themed YouTube channel, but they
Mhm.
did a deep dive specifically into the ending. I watched a really good one of a story overview of the entire game. I shouldn't have done that. Valhalla was too complicated for its own good. Way too many threads
Yes.
it's pulling on. Someone did like a 32-minute deep dive into the ending. I really liked where it was playing clips from the other games that were referenced in the ending of Valhalla. I'm trying not to
Valhalla.
spoil, but like I liked that a lot of like, oh right, I remember that from blah other game. Oh, that's
Hmm.
the reference there directly. Oh, okay, interesting, cool. So I appreciated that video a lot of just like, okay, that was a pretty wild ending. Also, what happened? What are we
Uh-huh.
doing here? So
Did you like me also forget about the solar flare that happened at the end of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood?
I definitely did. Yep, I sure did. Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did For those of you who are not Assassin's Creed weirdos, especially the out of the anime stuff,
The
like
future
we
Google
are in
stuff.
this, yeah,
Hmm.
that's a that's a
There's a
that's a story,
there's a
we'll
lot
say.
of stuff happening. It doesn't just end with you
Hmm.
fighting the Pope. There's stuff after that.
Nope.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
So I, well, number one, this game is absolutely beautiful.
Oh my God, it's so I'm playing there on PS5. This is Pro
I'm in
Enhanced.
performance mode.
Okay, I so this is Pro Enhanced. I don't have a Pro. I'm not a Rockefeller. I don't have that much money. Um, there's three modes on PS5: quality, performance, and balanced. I'm on balanced because it's a 40 hertz mode, and I have VRR. So with
Okay.
if you
I
have
don't have a TV that can do 40 hertz, unfortunately.
okay, so I love 40 hertz mode because it usually gives you almost the quality of the kind of the the quality mode. But if you have VRR, it will boost that 40 frames, that 40 hertz to 120. So I'm playing at 4K in incredible quality at 120 frames. It doesn't
Hmm.
always stay at 120 frames, which is fine. It's a big open world game, so like it's doing a lot, but this game looks so good, and I was really impressed when you get in the open world in Naue, and it's like, okay, here's a couple things to go check out. Go ahead and go check stuff out.
That first viewpoint, man. That's what I'm saying.
And
Like
like,
that first viewpoint, I was like, wait. And in my head, I said to myself, I can go to that mountain over
right,
there.
but like I jumped off of that like branch or whatever, landed, and then I just like walked off the edge, and I'm just in the forest exploring, and
Hmm.
it looks and sounds so good.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I, it, y- you having only just gone to the open world,
Hmm.
you haven't run into seasons yet, have you?
I have not, no.
Okay. The game has seasons, and the seasons change.
I got caught in a rainstorm, which
That
was good.
specifically that season is the one I'm thinking of, where all of a sudden just the entirety of the area in front of you is torrential downpour with
Hmm.
thunderstorms. And you're just like, yeah, this is why everything gets made wet when it's new graphics, because
Yeah,
everything looks better in the rain. Everything looks great in the rain.
yeah. I wandered into a temple to find some of those like lost pages, and I didn't realize I had only marked about half of the temple. So I was over there like scooping some of the stuff that has the little yellow like orb icon on it, where it's like this is treasure, and I'm scooping up
Yeah,
like,
like little chests.
well, it's not even little chests, it's like crops and paper and
Yes.
like stuff that you need for something.
Minor spoiler. There is a base building game
Yes,
in here.
yes, let's go. um I I wanted to play more of this, but I unfortunately hadn't because of the next game we'll be talking about. um but I got into a bit of a pickle because I thankfully the like whistle is back in here. So I was
Uh-huh.
laying down in some tall grass. I whistled at one of those dudes and had him come over. I popped up to assassinate. He grabbed me by the arm and stopped me from assassinating him and pushed me back down into the mud and started fighting me. And I was like, that's interesting, but also illegal. You shouldn't. I assassinated you?
So when when was the last game you played? Like you played Valhalla, but not all the way through, right?
No, I made it like more than halfway through Valhalla. Yeah.
Okay, so Valhalla had this too. There is no guaranteed assassinations. It's based on your level and the level of the enemies
Right.
and so on and so forth. When you are in the game, not before the game, when you are in the game,
Mm-hmm.
after all of the setup and everything else, you can go in and turn on guaranteed assassinations.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And it does not affect achievements or anything like that
Right.
I've seen. I currently have it kept off.
Yeah, I'll probably keep it off for a while.
I'm letting the game tell me the story how it wants to tell me.
Right.
So if someone's too high of a level, that's fine. I've had that too. It's even better for me because I unlocked a double assassination,
Oh, okay.
and I jumped down from a rooftop, landed with my tanto in one person's chest,
Mm-hmm.
and the blade at another person's face,
Mm-hmm.
and they just caught it and just went, "Excuse me," and threw me off.
That's great.
While the other person was falling to the ground because he was a low enough level that he died, and I just got
Oh,
tossed to the wind.
gotcha.
And I was like, "Oh no, now I'm in trouble." So I
Yeah.
ran away.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I don't necessarily hate that. Oh, I did also want to mention one PS5 specific thing that I thought was cool. When you're in, well, did you make the same mistake that I did when you start the game and it has that like timeline view where you're looking through and it's like, here's Valhalla, here's Origins,
Oh, you mean
here's.
the Ubisoft store?
I went and I was just like, oh yeah, Valhalla. I wonder if when you select it, you get like a very brief, at most 2 sentences description of Valhalla. And it
Uh-huh.
has like a couple links on the right hand side of like, here's a web series and here's the web page and
Yep.
go buy Valhalla. I clicked on Valhalla because I was hoping it would have like a summary video. It's just like launching Assassin's Creed Valhalla in 5, 4, 3. I was like, wait, no,
Yep.
no, wait.
Uh-huh.
Um, thought that
I did the
was
exact same thing.
interesting. But one note that I thought was really neat is when you're watching, they have an Abstergo sales pitch video at the very beginning of like, dive into your ancestors' histories, live how they lived. And then there's some sort of corruption that cuts in of like, you're being lied to. Like the Batman voice comes in.
Welcome to the dark
Right.
is the.
That,
I'm like,
yay,
yay,
it's
yay,
Assassin's Creed.
yay.
That voice came through my controller speaker at the same time pretty loud.
Interesting.
So like at the same time, it's very clear that something different is going on. It's like that's a really I'm a sucker for this stuff anyway, but that's a really
Uh-huh.
good like in the animus moment of something is clearly different, something is clearly wrong. So I wanted to call
Yep.
that out. That's cool.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I can't talk about that. I have seen more of this stuff than you
Okay.
have.
Good. Yeah.
I can't
I
talk about it at all.
so far I'm having a really good time, and I think I will be honest and say part of it is probably because I haven't played an Assassin's Creed game in a really long time. I didn't play
Since
Mirage because
Valhalla.
I felt like I got burned out hard after the Valhalla was like the third of a very similar game.
Mhm.
Pretty burnt out. Valhalla was too long and too complicated for its own good.
165 hours it took me to
Oh
beat
my
that game,
god.
Boston.
And I forgot until I watched that recap video where it was like, and then you went to this new area and you cleaned that place out. And then you went to this new area and you cleaned that place out. And like
Mhm.
rinsing and repeating across England. Um,
Yep. That
eh,
map was huge.
that map was so big. But I think a lot of the benefit of this game, especially for me, as someone who's kind of coming back after a couple of years, I like that we're having this slow start. I like that we're not just like, here you go, here's 400 icons on this map.
I
Go
I
ahead.
will say right now, there isn't even that many icons on the map anymore, dude.
No.
It feels
Mm-mm.
like it feels like within like a 2 kilometer radius of where I'm standing, it feels like there's like six.
Yeah. And like there's plenty of stuff to
And
do. Like when you after you do that first viewpoint, you kind of climb down that hill. She points to like a meditation spot off to your left.
do
Um
all of those. Do
Yeah,
all of those with
that's
a vital necessity. Do all of
I mean,
those.
from a, like a storyline perspective, I'll definitely do them, but also from like a getting like mastery points and stat
Hmm.
points and stuff. Also, it's kind of fun doing the like timing based thing around the controller. Then you get like a playable kind of a flashback. But like
So
that didn't show up on my map. That only showed up when I
all
got
of
close to it.
those, all of those that you do up
Mm,
to a certain point gives you prologue missions for Naue of what led from the end or the intro cutscene to the
right.
game to the end of the prologue. Like
Yeah.
that fills in the gaps in that time frame.
Yeah. Yeah. So like it's neat because I feel like in other Assassin's Creed games probably have been like, all right, here's the 10 of these missions you can go do. These are the prologue series of missions. You've this is one of 10. But the game's just sort of like
Hmm.
you're probably going to stumble on it cuz it's next to the entrance to a temple that you have a mission at anyways, so you're going to run into it probably. No,
Yep.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. My other complaint, by the way, is there is no torches in the game so far. I've not seen a torch.
Interesting. Okay.
Um, which is there is cave systems to explore when you
Mm.
don't have a torch as Naue is very annoying because
Hmm.
it's very dark and I have HDR and everything else turned on, so it's like,
Right.
oh, okay.
Hmm. Interesting. But yeah, I'm enjoying the story and not just the kind of
Uh-huh.
the out of animus story, which is the stuff that you and I are always a sucker for. Um,
Yeah.
but I think the in the world story is really good, and it feels great to play so far, and the two characters play significantly differently. And I
Uh-huh.
like that they don't give you the ability to switch right off the bat because I was expecting you to get into the open world and be like, all right, press, hold triangle to switch back to Yasuke. And it's like, nope, he's not involved right now, man. This isn't.
Yeah.
You'll see him later.
The thing I'm assuming is I have to play the story with Naue up to a certain point where their paths cross, and then when their
Right.
paths cross, that's when the options will appear.
Yeah, exactly.
But like now he's a great character so far.
Yeah,
Like a
I like her a
genuinely
lot.
great character and super duper flawed as well, which
Yes.
is arguably what makes great characters is now he has some issues, a lot
Mm-hmm.
of issues, in fact. Um and like her story so far for me has been genuinely interesting and also I'm getting wrecked in some of the if I'm not prepared, I get
Uh-huh.
wrecked. Just like an Assassin's Creed game should be.
Yep.
None of this I think Origins and not Origins was okay for it. The other one, what was the other one?
Odyssey.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Odyssey was particularly bad for the oh no, I'm just going to counterattack everybody kind of
Yeah,
syndrome
like
that Assassin's Creed got into.
I'm gonna stomp into a stronghold and just take out 50 dudes and I'll be fine.
Yeah,
This is not that game.
not yet at least. I did
Right.
like the fact that Odyssey got there eventually,
Sure.
specifically when when you got the spear and you could throw it and teleport to where the spear
That's
was.
true. Yep, yep, yep.
Like you got there with Odyssey, but it doesn't feel like I'm gonna get there with this. But I mean, I don't know. We'll see. There's something in a box that I need to go and get, and
Right. They don't
I can't help but assume that it's an apple of some
it's
kind.
got yeah, it's gotta be. It's gotta be
It's a piece
something
of
like
Eden.
that. Yeah, it's gotta be something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's cool. I like it. It looks great. I think it's performed really well so far.
Yep. I'm having
Um,
a blast. How's the English voice acting? Is that
it's
pretty
pretty
solid?
solid.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure it's all Japanese voice actors as well.
Oh, interesting.
Because I
Okay.
know the guy who plays your dad is bilingual. He's Japanese. He can speak Japanese and English because he's in a
Oh,
bunch of
cool.
Hollywood movies.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure he does his own voice. There's a bunch. I think a lot of them do their own voices. It looks
That's
like
cool.
so.
That's nice.
It's it's well done so far.
Yep.
And yeah, the people are not 100% as detailed as they could be, but I don't care. The
Yeah.
world is incredibly beautiful.
Well, and like I've been thinking about that as I've been playing that um there's some stuff where it's like some of the animations for characters are a little wooden, some of the facial animations are a little bit off, but it's nothing really ever that bad. It's just kind of like that's kind of how the Assassin's Creed games have always been, and it's a little bit better than the last couple of them. So I'm pretty happy. I mean, when you compare it to something like the Life is Strange True Colors and Double Exposure, the like cream of the crop of like facial animation technology. Nothing else is going to get there, so this stuff is really solid.
I mean, you can also like you will eventually hear people say, "Well, it's not like Last of Us." It's like you're right, it's not.
Yeah,
But that is not also a giant open world game. That is
right,
a linear game.
right. These are very different experiences. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So like, I don't know. I'm enjoying it so far.
yeah, me too.
I'm curious to see where the story goes.
Yeah,
I can't wait till you open the objective screen a few more times, because it starts with a blank piece of paper,
yes, mm-hmm.
and then it fills in the circle of the knights, which there's a painting on a wall when you
Mm-hmm.
get to a certain point, which is a painting of all of the knights in the prologue that you
Oh
see,
wow, okay,
and it gets crossed off one by one
that's great.
as you
I figured that
do
was
it.
going to happen because the game is very much like, look at all the bad guys in this game, all of whom are wearing different masks, and they have
Mhm.
all done something terrible to you. Sure seems like you're just going to cross them all off the list.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the best part is like the objective screen, it's them in the center,
Hmm.
and then like it's got offshoots for like different missions and different groups of people
That's cool.
that you can find. It's really well done.
Yeah. I'm really excited to keep playing more of this. I'm enjoying the beginning of this a lot more than I thought I would.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's solid so far. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's literally all I've been playing.
All right. I have two more games here. First up, I finished and have almost platinumed um, Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Um, I I took the right approach based off of our conversation from last week. I just mainlined all the way straight to the end. I was definitely strong enough to steamroll the rest of that game. I walked through the rest of it in maybe 2 or 3 hours, I think, and that's even including cutscenes and stuff. So I think the story in this was fine. I think it ended up in an okay place. I cried at the ending because it's a Yakuza game, and I'm apparently just
I
going
mean,
to do that
yes.
for all of them. Um, I have thoughts about the like very ending of it, but I'm holding off on those thoughts. Number one, because it's a spoiler, but number two, I really want to see how they address the ending of Infinite Wealth and Pirate Yakuza in the next mainline Like a Dragon game. Um, I think they're still headed in a really great place, but I probably said this in the when I was talking about Infinite Wealth. Infinite Wealth really should be Akiryu's last ride. Like I don't want another final, like I don't want another Kiss farewell tour. You know, like we've already had three of them.
I had that spoiled for me as to the disappointing nature of that game when it comes to that specific character. It's just like, dude, like we had a whole separate game for this exact reason, and we're
Right.
doing it again.
Yeah, like I don't think they've handled it poorly, but I think if you're gonna have another game with Ichiban and Kiryu riding together, that that's not it. Like Ichiban is so good, and he's so you have managed to make a character that people love just as much, if not more, than the dude you had in 8 other games. You need to
Hmm.
let that dude have like an entire game to himself. All of the people in his party are great too. Like all of those characters are so good. Like that needs all of this stuff need to be done. Um, and I think part of my I didn't dislike this game. It's still a beat 'em up RPG Yakuza game, so like it's still really great. I'm not the world's biggest Majima fan. I don't hate him, otherwise I wouldn't have played this game. He's not really. If it's like Majima versus Kiryu, I'm gonna pick Kiryu every single time. Um, so like, I think that's part of me sort of being like, okay, it's this game's fine. Um, I in kind of oh, I did want to say Samoa Joe was exactly the right dude for the his role in this game. I wasn't sure how he was going to do when he first showed up, but I think by the end
Mhm.
of the game, having a really big, menacing looking dude in that role, I think served it really, really well. Um, this is the one time that I kind of wish you could have a different voice option for cameo characters, because Samoa Joe does his own voice for the English version of this, but I'm
I
not.
was gonna say, does he do the English or because I think he spent some time in Japan, but I don't know if he speaks Japanese.
Yeah, he didn't do. I was watching the credits. He didn't do the Japanese voice, but he did the English voice. I would have really liked to have heard that, but like, I'm not gonna not play these games in Japanese. Um, so that was a little bit of a bummer. I didn't have time to go watch a video of his stuff earlier today, because I would want to see that, because that seems neat. Um, I am going through now. I was way closer to the platinum than expected. I spent maybe an hour this week, and I'm down to 2 trophies left. And it's basically do all of the. There's like a.
Side missions things.
No, I've done almost all of those. Um, there's a coliseum in the game, but unlike a lot of the other coliseums, it's not a like 1v1 fist fighting thing. It's a ship versus ship battle. And then once you knock down the boss ship, you board it and you fight the boarding party on the ship. Um, uh, and there are some where you do like that once or twice or 3 times. So the ones where you do it 3 times in a row are kind of tough because you can't heal in between. So you kind of need to have your party in tip top shape the entire time. Once I complete all of those, I'll get the other 2 trophies, and then I'll have the platinum. So I was a lot closer to that than I thought. Um, the one trophy I did get was the end of the FMV storyline, which is probably the time where they need to stop doing these. um,
F- FMV is hosts by any chance? Hostesses?
well, not this one. So in the previous one, it has been like, here are pretty ladies, and you have a date with them, and it's like a real life person, and Kiryu is choosing a prompt, and they react, and those have been fine. Like feel a little like leery watching them. They're odd. It's not my thing. This one, I genuinely didn't think there was any FMV in here, because there isn't a system in this game for like running a hostess thing or going on dates with hostesses or anything like that. So I thought, okay, well, the development team has been out there saying the development on the ship sailing stuff was really hard. Like, that was very hard for us to nail down. It took a ton of development time. And it's kind of a miracle that we got it to work. So I thought, well, okay, that's where the development time went. That makes sense that they wouldn't have it in here. There was a storyline in the game that started about halfway through, where one of your party members in the ship, the chef, he has 5 essentially idols that are visiting the town. He wanted to have a party with all 5 of them. He said,
Okay.
go find all of them, invite them to my party. I'm single, I'm lonely. It would be cool if we'd have a party, and maybe I will get to have a date with one of them. So, all right, I got to complete X number of side stories anyways. I'll do it while I'm around. This has to lead to something at least ridiculous. It really did. It led to almost an hour of FMV that had to have been the most awkward thing I have seen in a very long time. And it was the real life person behind that chef character. I didn't know that's a real person. he like got prepared for these dates. This is all FMV now. Got prepared for the dates, is in a room with all 5 of these women, which is fine. And then it moves on to the one-on-one date with all 5 of them. And the whole gist of it, spoilers here if you haven't done it. The whole gist of it is he embarrasses himself to each one of these women.
Shock of shocks. It's a Yakuza game.
Right. So, like, that's not too surprising. But the nature of how far that guy goes to be embarrassing with these women is... I don't get the, like, secondhand awkwardness that a lot of people do when they're watching, like, purposely awkward TV shows or whatever. I got it for this one. Like, this was just...
You don't get second-hand awkwardness, but you really like reality TV. Okay.
Yes.
That's why you like reality TV.
That's just me eating popcorn of just like, oh, yeah, this is bad. Oh, yeah, I can't believe you said that. This was just too much. Like, this was just, I think, especially with the FMV nature of trying to take the ridiculousness of the Yakuza storylines of... This is a standard, like you said, this is a standard Yakuza thing of, I went on a date with these 5 famous idols, and I embarrassed myself to all 5 of them. But doing that in FMV, in like 4K with this dude, was just too much. I think they have reached the limit of this. I think that's where you gotta stop doing this and just ride off in the sunset with this. So that was a little bit of a bummer that it was back. We Moon, you and I were recently talking about the Fast Saga movies, about it growing past the like car meet racing for pink slips with like short skirts and skimpy outfits and playing music and stuff. I feel like
maturing with its age.
Right. And I feel like that's where the Yakuza games have come to, of like, I think you have outgrown, if you want to keep it to the like hostess date stuff, I think you can maybe make a case for that, but I think growing beyond that feels kind of awkward and weird at this point. So hopefully they do something different with it, or they just cut it completely at this point. But the rest of the game, your standard Yakuza stuff, it's all really great. I think if you don't want to play this one and you just want to stick to the mainline stories, I think you're fine. If you just want to put this on the easiest difficulty and blow through it in about 8 to 10 hours, you can also do that too, and you'd be just fine. This really is the like connective tissue between 2 mainline games, just like the main who erased his name was. So
yeah,
it was okay. It's fine. I'll spend another couple hours and I'll get the. I'm more than halfway through the Coliseum fights at this point, so I probably don't have that much. And this is what I was trying to finish before I really started diving into AC Shadows. So this is where I spent most of my time this week. And last but not least, 2 Point Museum. I'm kind of at the point where I'm just trying to get 5 stars on all the museums at this point. I have 5 stars in 3 of them. I have gotten to what is it called? Curator Class 7. That's your kind of overall umbrella ranking. I didn't realize that would unlock 6 stars to be available to be earned.
Yeah.
The 6-star requirements, those are hard. Like those ones are really, really challenging. And not from like a... How do I explain this? When you go out and you get an exhibit and you place it down, it has 3 values on it. One is buzz, which we talked about earlier. One is knowledge, and you get knowledge by getting additional copies of that exhibit and breaking it down in the analysis room. And that makes your visitors smarter as they look at it, and it kind of gives you a better rating overall. To get 6 stars, you basically have to have maxed out knowledge of most of the, if not all of the exhibits in that museum for all of them. which isn't impossible. It's just a lot of like, I'm gonna constantly be sending people out on expeditions to try and get as much stuff as I can to kind of break it down to increase that stuff. So I don't know if I'll go for those. I'd rather spend my time with Sandbox. That's probably going to be the last set of achievements, trophies that I get. Is the like
Yeah.
starting a big Sandbox one and getting that to whatever you have to do. Um, I got 5 stars on the fish aquarium, the kind of largely fish focused aquarium. That one was okay. I think my real complaint about that is each everything in that aquarium is too big. So like every time you get some fish, the aquariums you need to build are bigger than I'd like, and there are too many of them to kind of display all of the fish because eventually you start getting fish that eat other fish. So you kind of need to have them separate off by themselves, and then you're getting these ruins that you're kind of dredging up from the ocean floor, and they're huge. I mean, they're way bigger than anything else in the game. So everything in that museum is just kind of like a little too big to display all of it, which is kind of personally
Yeah.
frustrating for me. Um,
Well, that's just your OCD kicking in.
yeah, but like I also want to like for me that I like the displaying of I want to build a building that displays all of the science stuff that I've gotten, and I want to kind of like make it look really good and theme the building to it and decorate it all really well. Like I like doing that, and if I can't kind of if I have to split that stuff into um multiple buildings, that's kind of frustrating to me. um I'm wrapping up the desert one, which is uh the science um company abandoned this uh area in the desert that essentially a computer went haywire, and now there's like slime goop everywhere that's now electrified because this in the storyline there was a mistake. um so I'm kind of
Electrified slime glue as a mistake seems like an understatement.
yeah, it's very 2 point, so like it's a lot of like Silicon Valley wording of like, well, that's not exactly how we thought that would go. So that
What deliverables are you going to make from
right.
this,
Like,
Boston?
how can we change it so our shareholders will be happier about this? That sort of thing, which is really good. The writing is still really really great on in these games. Um, so that one's a really weird museum where you're going out and you're getting blueprints from your expeditions instead of getting exhibits, um, and you're creating those blueprints, like you're making them into a science thing that you can display, and then depending on how your guests interact with those, you're leveling them up. So you're not finding more rare versions of them on expeditions. You're kind of leveling up and continuing to craft those over time. And you're kind of crafting higher levels of them, which is interesting. It's a very different way um, of running a museum than the other ones. And then the last one I have is, oh my god, what's the last one? Oh, it's the big platform above the
The space
jungle with
station one?
the science ones. So I've barely started that at all. But when I finished the first star of that, basically a giant tablet landed in the background, and there are 5 symbols on there, and I lit up one of them by finishing the first objective. So it really looks like I'm going to be lighting up all of these. Something will happen when I light up the 5th one. So I'm still really enjoying it. There, again, I talked about it last week. This is like a $30 or $40 game, and the amount of stuff that's in this game is really ridiculous, and just it's really great, and I wholeheartedly recommend it. At this point, I still have a lot of stuff to do, and like I said, I haven't even started my hope for my sandbox one is kind of having different wings for the different types of things you can do, because at any point
Mhm.
you can send out expeditions to any of the 5 regions. So like, no matter what museum you're in, you can have it go to like the supernatural one. If you want to have your space museum have a supernatural wing, you can do that too. Like you can just have it display any of that stuff, which is really fun. But I'm really enjoying it. I love it. I think this game's great. Highly recommend it. And that's all I've been playing this week. Let's take a break.
Yep.
Oh man.
Oh, be right back.
Okay.
Bathroom.
Yeah, Torek, I agree. Majima is a great foil for Kiryu or Seijima if he's available. Yeah, I agree. I think that's maybe part of my frustration with that game is kind of Majima is a bit out of sorts the whole time because of the amnesia that is sort of central to the storyline. Um, and I think without him having a really good foil, I think it's a little tough because like he has Noah, the kid that he's bombing around with, but like that's a totally different sort of situation. Well, and also like I just want to see Ichiban again. I think our resident Dragon Quest fan, uh, I want to see him in a game again. Oh, Pharaoh Reigns has a dad joke when Moon gets back. Oh yeah, let's check news stories here real quick. Just make sure there isn't like another Switch 2 leak or something here last minute. Silicon Era asks, which Wii U game still needs a return on Nintendo Switch? Stop it. Stop it. Buster Groove 2 is the weirdest and best PSX rhythm game. That's right. That's right. Man, Buster Groove is great. Boo, boo, boo. Also, one of my news stories this week was going to be the Nintendo Switch, their direct that happened this week, their game sharing thing. I still don't 100% understand it. I probably won't understand it until I get my hands on a Switch 2. So, not part of the news stories this week. Also, a big shout out to Square Enix for celebrating Chrono Trigger's 30th anniversary during the Nintendo Direct with a remaster of Saga Frontier 2. Good job, guys. It's really killing it. There has to be some legal business with this game at this point, right? Because like even Square Enix isn't above just putting that game out on on modern consoles. And like I'm one of the few people that don't think they should completely remake that game. Like I don't think they should do a Chrono Trigger H2D HD 2D, whatever you call it that. Like don't just leave that game alone. So Pharaoh Reigns in chat says, "Hey Moonpier, how many optometrists does it take to change a light bulb?" I think you're still muted.
What's an optometrist?
Eye doctor.
Mm. 4.
She says 1 or 2. 1 or 2. It's bad. It's bad. It's real bad.
No, I like that one.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Okay, are you ready for the next part?
No, but sure.
All right. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of March 31st, 2025. Koira, I'm going to assume it's pronounced here, comes out on PS5 and PC. It's the first game from Studio Tolima and published by Don't Nod. This is a... I'm just going to read the description here. Save a puppy and embark on a musical hand-drawn adventure. Journey together to the heart of a magical forest. Very striking art style here. Also, hopefully not one of those games where the puppy dies at the end. I'm always worried about that in these games. I'm not a dog fan, but also like you don't need to kill the dog in every one of these games. But
Yeah, you do. That's the nature of these games.
I mean, this seems like one of those games where you wouldn't do that, but maybe that's how they get you. Where it's like, of course they wouldn't do that in this game.
Ori and its sequel says hello.
That's right. Bam, took care of that. Like, that's how these games go. Anyways, I think this looks really interesting. I'm curious to see reviews from this. I haven't even seen any of these so far. So that's Cora. Also, apologies if you hear some children screaming outside my door. My kid has a friend over, and kids scream. Next up,
Gonna do what kids are gonna do.
yeah. Next up, I don't know where I put this on the list. The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered comes out on PC. This is a Sony remastered PC release. It has all the bells and whistles you would expect it to, all the 4-letter acronyms and all the AI, not the large language model, but the good AI, all that sort of stuff. All of that stuff here. It's Last of Us Part 2 on PC. It's got that stuff. There you go. You got it. You already know whether you like these. If you're a brand new listener to these shows, I hate these games. That's why I'm not even sure why. And like before anyone, I guess I have to explain it. I don't hate these games because they dare to feature female characters in them. I hate them because I think they're boring to play, and they're more interested in a way that people accuse Kojima of. I think these games are more interested in telling a story than being fun to play. Play Death Stranding 2, or play Death Stranding 1. Actually, the game's great. Build.
Yep, and it's on all platforms now.
That's right.
You don't have an excuse.
That Xbox release is really good. I don't know why it took them forever to do that, but it's really good.
I bought it when it got announced because it was 50% off. So
dang, that's a good price.
After the 7 huge open world games I have to play that's next on my list.
Keep on keeping on. Last game here we have is Tetris the Grandmaster 4 Absolute Eye. I'm terrified of these games.
What is going on that screen?
This is Boston. Tetris Grandmaster, dude. These are the fastest, most bonkers, like pro level Tetris games. I'm so scared of these games. They are. I will never have the reaction time for these games. Like I've never had the reaction time, even when I was like, however healthier I was compared to how I am now, and I'm doing okay now.
They're doing T-spins and everything inside of.
Yeah, this is the for real stuff, man. Like I really love the description, because it's like. This time, the Tetris Grandmaster 4 offers players a deeper, more strategic Tetris experience. The depth of the game will satisfy even experienced players. Of course, there are also modes that even beginners of Tetris can enjoy. Lies. That's not what these games are about. Play Tetris Effect. That's where you get started. That game's also incredible.
Tetris 99.
Play Tetris 99 if you want to like learn alongside other people. This is for Tetris sickos. I say that with affection. But like... you're a different league of like cyborg person if you're playing Tetris the Grandmaster, and I respect it, but that's not me. This will never be
I'm
me.
out 1,000%. I'm out.
Yeah, I'll pay Tetris.
I'm looking at it. I'm like, the kid in me is like, yeah, I could do this.
Uh-huh.
I could do this. But the grown-up broken man in me is just like, no, you can't. Don't be an idiot.
You fool. You know
You're not
your
a
limits.
teenager anymore.
Yeah. So that's coming out on PC this week. May God have mercy on our souls. We do have one news story this week, though. It's a positive one. For once, I'm happy to deliver some great news. Game Informer is back. Gunzilla Games has purchased the publication. It will operate independently from the studio as Game Informer Incorporated. The cherry on top of this, the wildest part of this news story, and the best part of it, is every single person who worked from top to bottom at Game Informer is back. They have brought the entire team back and hired all of them back, and they'll all be doing Game Informer again, which is incredible. I don't think I could think of a better ending to that story other than, yo, we just brought everybody back and they're all working there again. They even brought the website back with all the back content. They're bringing the print version back as well, which I'm going to sign up for as soon as humanly possible. You can create an account now, and the website's back up, and Game Informer's back. So that's incredible. I'm a big gobsmacked.
Good for them.
Yeah, like I think having any print magazine. I mean, we still have Edge, and we still have like a couple smaller magazines too. But at the time Game Informer was shuttered, it was still a really, really big magazine. Not just because it was for the longest time attached to GameStop, but like it was still a really big magazine. So thankfully thankfully it's back. Also, I'm a bit mind flooded here, not only because the kid's outside the door, but because YouTube just recommended to me TVGP Critical Misses Season 11, Episode 1 for Happy Death Day from 3 years ago. I was thinking, dang, that's a great movie.
It's a really good movie.
You should go watch that movie and then go listen to that episode. Well, hold on. Listen to the beginning of that episode. Go watch the movie, and then come back for the second part. Got to do the...
Yeah, watch it how it's meant to be watched. Part
That's
1
right.
movie, part 2.
You got it. You got it. Sandwich that movie with great TVGP content. All right. That's all the news stories we have, because I stopped at all the good news stories. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page. Don't forget Patreon. Patreon.com/E1M1.
Come on to the numbers.
$5 a month. It is fun for a $5. That's the best tier over there. If you want to get everything, anything above and beyond that is greatly appreciated. That gets you all the stuff we talked about at the beginning of the show. If you can't support us financially, totally understand. Hit up the YouTube channel. Go to check out merch.tvgp.tv. Buy some of our cool stuff. Some cool shirts. You want the We Know a shirt from a certain Bobcat that we probably can't name. Now that I think
I'll never be anything special.
Yeah, then Never Anything Special, one of my favorites. Get some cool logo stickers, stuff over there. There's some great stuff over there. Hit up the discord.tvgp.tv. Got a lot of really great stuff here.
That's a way to get involved in Lethal Company as well. Check out the LFG group.
Yeah, check out the LFG group. If you want to laugh at my suffering, you can check out the publisher league that we have going on. It's closed for the rest of the year until after the TGAs this year, the Keeleys. I would love for literally any game to be released in my publisher.
I haven't checked on that in a while. Are you really doing that badly?
I don't have anything. My counter pick was Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's doing well enough to get me negative 11 points. I'm in the hole. I'm in the red. I have 3, potentially 4 games launching the week of April 8th. So like 2 weeks from now, I'm finally gonna I'm in dead last in the league because I don't have anything. So hopefully I'll
I
get.
want to change my counter pick from Avowed to something else.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, all of that stuff. And remember to rate and review us on your podcatcher of choice if you're able to. That stuff really does help. I think that's it. So we'll see you all next week. Bye.
That tells you how negative Nancy we are, though.
Mm-hmm.
I love Xbox and I voted against an Xbox game, and you love Assassin's Creed and you voted against an Assassin's Creed game. That tells you everything you need to know about our negativity.
I thought that one was gonna bomb. I really did. I thought no matter how late, no matter how polished that thing was gonna be, it was just gonna people are gonna be like, ugh, here's another Assassin's Creed game. Here we go. Oh, they put it in Japan. They broke the glass and said like, when Assassin's Creed is in trouble, break glass for Japan.
No, when Ubisoft is in trouble.
That's true. That's true. When does the
Not Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed has been in trouble for a while, and then they did a hard reboot and got it back on track with Origins.
When does the Guillemot family need to be saved? Breaking that glass. Yeah. All right. What titles you got this week?
Streamception, Stupid Fun for Everyone, Little Good Tickles, Seems Like an Understatement, and Sandwich That Movie.
I have more and more plushies, and then I wrote down Streamception. Is there anything else that's really standing out to you? I just didn't write anything down this week.
Neither did I, really, to be honest. Stupid Fun for Everyone has got a really good...
Stupid Fun for Everyone? Mm-hmm. That's got like a like half alliteration.
It's got a really good rhythm to it.
I kind of like that one. Stupid Fun for Everyone. I'm okay with that one if you want to do it.
Sure.
Isn't that the ethos on this show? That's not fair. I've tried to stop saying what we do here is stupid. I think that minimizes, I think, the hard work that we do.
I mean, it does, but also it's hilarious.
It is true. Yeah.
I think I'm ready.
Okay. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 910 for March 31st, 2025. Stupid fun for everyone.
Capitalism.
All right. We're done. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening and watching.
That's also a Lethal Company reference, because capitalism.
True. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening and watching. We do greatly appreciate it. We love seeing all of you in chat, seeing more and more of you every week. We love seeing you. We love chatting with you. Thank you so much. I hope we'll see you all same time, same place next week. Bye.